We will start, sir, now. It's already 6:03. We'll get started.
Yes, we can start now.
Yes, we'll get started. Sir, can you share the Google Drive link with them?
Sure, I will share it in chat, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So actually, when you're pasting, right, the complete link is not pasted. So can you email them later? Because when we copy and paste, the complete link is not getting pasted.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, I have shared just now. I've shared.
Sure, I will share it in chat.
Okay, everyone, we'll get started. Very good evening. Okay, so yesterday we started talking about the conditions. Okay. Okay, so we started talking about conditions, right? How do we execute a certain how do we execute a certain line of code, right? So if you remember what we did was we had let's say you get average equal to 50, right? You say average equal to 50. Now we want to display pass, right? We want to say you have passed. Okay. Now this message needs to be printed only when average is more than equal to, let's say, 40%. Okay. So how to display you have passed? You will say print and you will say you have passed, right? But now if I run it, irrespective of whatever average is, we'll get you have passed, correct? But this needs to be printed only when average is more than or equal to 50. Okay. So in such case, we use if. We say if AVG greater than equal to 40, you have passed, right? So see here, if is a command using which we are checking a condition followed by a condition here, AVG greater than equal to 40. Now only when average value, now here average is 50, isn't it? If average value is greater than equal to 40, only then you will get you have passed. This is like our conditional statement, isn't it? Okay, this is our condition, right? Now this condition has to be true. Okay, if the condition is true, only then print command will be executed. Okay. So couple of things. You have if followed by condition. This condition has to be true, then we go inside. And see here, we have given space, right? We have given space here. What does this mean? Okay, Why the space is given? The space is given, okay, because the print statement, okay, print statement has to be within if condition, okay. So this print that we have, that you have passed, is within if condition. So since it is within if condition, that's why we have said space, okay. So 2-3 things, you have to get it right, okay, and only when you get it right, okay, we can move forward, okay. First thing, I want to check a condition, right? So since I want to check a condition, I have given okay, if. I have given if because I want to check the condition, right? Now, the if condition, when it is true, correct? When the if condition is true, only then we go and print this command, print command, right? So if condition colon print you have passed, okay. Now I can have multiple condition here. I am in if, okay, and I will say another print I am also in if, right? You see this? Now I want to print something which is outside if. I am outside if, okay. Now you see, how do you know line 5, 6, 7 are inside if? How do you know line 5, 6, 7 are inside if? Line 5, 6, 7 are inside if because we have a space here. Because we have a space here. That's why these 3 lines of code is inside if. Okay. If do not give space, okay, here you see I've started from beginning. Since I've started from beginning, this means that this print is not inside if. Okay. Now, how many spaces to give to indicate inside if? Okay, let's run it and see first. Okay, so my average value is 50. So average is obviously greater than equal to 40. So average is greater than equal to 40. Okay, so you see you have passed, I'm in if, I'm also in if. All 3 lines have been executed. Okay, and then I am outside if is outside. Now what we'll do is, okay, I'm going to make this value, average value 30. Now when we make average value 30, this condition is becoming false. This condition has become false, correct? Now when this condition became false, okay, because average is 30, 30 is not greater than equal to 40, right? So average has become, this condition has become false. If condition is false, okay, then you will not go inside if, correct? Then you will not go inside if, okay? So here we see this, we execute and see here. So see, since this condition became false, okay, if false colon, these lines of code are not executed, okay? Okay. Now, how many spaces to give here? Should we give 1 single space, 2 spaces, or 4 spaces, right? So when you are writing the first line, isn't it? This first line, you have a choice. Minimum, you have to give 1 space. Minimum, you have to give at least we have to give one space. Okay, you give one space or 10 space or 50 space, doesn't matter, but you have to give minimum one space. This choice you have for the first line. Okay, now for every other line you have to give same number of spaces. Okay, so for first line you have a choice. Okay, you give 10 space or 20 space, but for second line you have no choice. For third line you have no choice. Okay, but okay, so generally what we do is we give tab spaces. Okay, and tab we can actually do the setting. By default tab is 4 spaces, right? So we are going to give tab space. Tab space. Okay, so by default we give tab space. Okay, so as I said, only for the first line you have a choice, but for second, third line you have no choice. The spaces that you give for the first line, same spaces you have to give for second or third line. Okay. Okay. Now this is to check if. Now I want to check if average is true, I want these, but when average is not true, false, then we want to say that you have not passed, right? So how do we do that? We have something called as else. Okay, else goes along with if. Else goes along with if. So if the condition here is true, it will go inside if. Okay, and if condition is false here, then it will look for else. Okay, and let's say if you have nothing to type, you will say pass. So we have pass statement. Okay, so pass statement is used when you have nothing to write. Okay, in else, let's say, but here let's say we'll write something. Okay, we have something to write. Okay, so we'll write something. I'm going to say print, sorry, you have not passed. Okay, so see this, when I run, what will happen? You have not passed, correct? Because this condition is false. When the condition here is false, it goes to else automatically. It goes to else automatically. Okay, now if I make it as 40, because average is greater than or equal to 40, so this condition will be true. Now when it is true, okay, it prints all these. Now else part will not get called. Okay, else part will not get called because if is true, right? So in this if else block, only one component, okay, which is either your if or else will be called. Both will not be called. Okay, either this or else will be called. Okay, now let's write one more program. Let's say I have a number. Number is say 23. I want to check. Okay, I want to check if number is, okay, if number is divisible by 5 or not. I want to check if number is divisible by 5 or not. Then what do I do? Okay, think. Okay, and then we will, of course, we'll do. So question here is write a program to check if num is divisible by 5 or not. Okay, you can put your comment in the chat. Okay, you can put your comment in the chat. How do we do that? Okay. So to know if it's divisible or not, okay, how to check divisibility? Okay, if you go back to your 8th class, 9th class, 10th class mathematics, we have seen that if you divide, okay, the number, okay, by 5 and the remainder is 0. That's when we say it is divisible, isn't it? So if I divide by 5 and the modulo remainder is 0, right? So I'm going to say if num, okay, if num modulo 5 equal to 0, you say print, okay, I can put F here for format string. I'll say number is divisible by 5, right? Okay, else the number is not divisible by 5, isn't it? So I'll say else print, okay, I'll copy the exact same stuff. Is not divisible by 5. Okay, so when you run it, 23 is not divisible by 5, isn't it? But if I make it as 25, okay, 25 is divisible by 5, correct? Okay. Now let's say we'll take another example, okay, where the number, okay, where number, okay, so we'll say write a program to check if a number is positive or negative. Okay, let's say check if a number is positive or negative, correct? So what do we do? Let's say number equal to 10, and we say if number is greater than 0, okay, okay guys, see, the question is materials we are not going to share now, only the course will, after the course end, we'll send the material. Okay, you have to watch the video if you have missed it. Okay, F is format string, okay, which we have done yesterday. Okay, so please do not miss any class. Okay, don't miss any class, and if you miss, please watch the video. Okay, please watch the video before coming to the class. Is it fine, everyone? Okay, and study material we will not share now. materials will be shared once the training is done. So after a month, okay, after a month when we are done with the training, then the material will be shared. Okay, so you have to watch video, you have to come to class, materials will not be shared. Okay, everyone, I'm not going to share any more material. Okay, you all have to come to class and then, okay, we can share them, after the class is done, we'll share. So for now, you all have to come to class. Okay, if you can't come for some reason, please watch the video. Okay, okay, great. So if num is greater than 0, I'm going to say print number is positive, or again, I can use F string here. Okay, I'm going to say num is positive. Okay, positive number, right? 10 is positive number. Else, we can say num is negative number. Okay, so if I run it, 10 is positive number for sure. When I put minus 10, okay, minus 10 is negative number, it works fine, isn't it? But what if, okay, number is 0? Now, 0 is neither a positive or negative number, isn't it? But since we have put num greater than 0 here, right? So whichever, so 0 is not greater than 0, isn't it? So this condition became false. 0 is not greater than 0. So this condition became false. So what happened? It is coming to else and printing it. Okay. So in this particular example, we need 3 conditions. Okay. In this particular example, we need 3 conditions. What are the 3 conditions? 1 for positive, 1 for negative, and 1 for 0. We have to check for 0 also, right? So 0, less than 0, more than 0. So in this example, we have to check for 3 conditions. So see, when you have only 1 condition, we use if, right? We did that when we did the first example pass. If you have only 1 condition to check, you use only if. If you have 2 conditions to check, you use if and else. Okay. If you have more than 2 conditions to check, you have to use else. Okay. If you have more than 2 conditions to check, we use else. So if you need to check 5 conditions, your first and last is always if and else. Middle 3 will be else. Else if. Okay. That's actually else stands for else if. Okay. So we have to give condition here. Okay. So in this example, I'm going to say elif, okay, and what's the condition? Condition is num equal to 0, okay, equal to 0. Now I can say 0 is NEIT, neither a positive or negative number, right? So now when I run it, you get 0 is neither a positive or negative number. If I make it 10, it becomes positive. If I make it minus 10, it becomes negative. Okay? Everyone clear? Of course, clear, right? Great. Now let's look at another example. Okay. In this case, we will assign grade. Okay. So write a program to find sum and average of 5 subjects and assign grade to the student based on, okay, if average is greater than 80, grade A, okay, average is greater than equal to, let's say we put it. So if average is greater than 80, okay, average is greater than equal to 70, we'll say grade B. Average greater than equal to 60, have to say grade D. Average greater than equal to 50, we say grade D, and average less than 50, grade E. Or let's say we'll do 40 also. Okay, grade E, and average less than 40 is grade F, failed. Okay, so how many conditions are we checking here? We are checking one condition, two condition, three condition, 4, 5, and 6. So we have total 6 conditions to check. We have in total 6 conditions to check. All right. How do we check 6 conditions? So we know that if we have one, first one is always if, last one is always else, in between rest are all ellipses. So we'll use 4 ellipses. We'll use 4 ellipses, right? Okay. So we are going to use 4 ellipses, right? Let's do it. Okay, so let's do it. So first I have to calculate sum and average, isn't it? So I'm going to say marks 1 equal to, and let's try to take input from the user. Okay, so input, enter marks in subject 1. Okay, enter marks in subject 1. So when I do this, okay, the input marks will be string, isn't it? Input marks will be string. So we have to convert this into integer, isn't it? So we can say marks 1 equal to int of marks 1. So we can say enter marks in subject 1, marks 1 equal to int of marks 1, correct? Similarly, we have to read for subject 2. So I'm going to say subject 2, subject 3, subject 4, subject 5. Okay. Enter marks in subject 2, subject 3, subject 4, and subject 5. Okay. You can convert this into int. Okay, same line. Okay, either you can do it in different line or you can do it in same line. Okay, this is our marks 2 variable, right? Now our marks 3 variable. So I'm taking input in the marks and then converting it into integer. You can convert into float as well. I'm assuming that marks are in integer. Okay, then again 4, okay, int of marks here. Okay, 5, okay, you get marks here. Okay, everyone. So now to find total marks, it is marks 1 plus marks 2 plus marks 3 plus marks 4 plus marks 5. Right? So what is the average? Average is total by we have 5 marks, right? So we get total by 5. Okay, so you can say something like this. Student has scored a total of, okay, marks and average of average, right? So when I run this program, okay, so you see here down, it says enter marks in subject 1. Okay, so I'm going to say 56. Marks in subject 2, 89. Marks in subject 3, 49. Okay, 76, 88. So see, student has scored a total of 358 marks, an average of 71.6. Average of 71.6 means, 71.6 means what? Means he should get average B, isn't it? He should get average B here, right? So now we have to write our conditions. Okay, so first condition is if average is greater than equal to 80. Okay, this is the first condition. What to write? See, when you are building, when you are working on a real program, right, in a project environment, you will have multiple conditions to handle, and each of them will be complex, isn't it? So you can't write all the conditions at the same time, right? So what we do generally is we'll put pass. First step is we are creating that structure. Okay, we want to create the if, elif, else structure. Once we create that structure, then we will go back and give our command, right? Print or whatever. So we can say if average greater than equal to 80, pass. Elif. AVG greater than equal to, okay, I think it's 70, right? 70, 60 after every 10 years, 70, 60, 50, 40, so on. So I'm saying average greater than equal to, okay, 70. Pass. Elif average greater than equal to 60, pass. I told you, right, few minutes back, pass is a placeholder, right? So else if AVG greater than equal to 50. Okay, 50 is done, pass. Elif AVG greater than equal to 40, pass. Else. Else means what? See, we have checked for more than 80, more than 70, 60. So else is by default less than 40, isn't it? Else is default less than 40. So we are going to say else, pass. Okay, our if elif structure is ready now. If elif structure is ready. Okay, if elif else structure is ready. What now we need to do is we need to simply fill in the required logic in between. We have to simply fill in the required logic. Okay, so let's get started from top. Okay, if average is more than 80, we say print you have scored a grade. Okay, let's say you have scored grade A. Okay, great. Now if average is more than 70, we say you have scored average of grade B. Okay, now we can say average of grade C, average of grade D. Okay, you have scored average for grade E, right? Else, okay, sorry, you have scored grade F. Okay. Now let's run it and see. Enter marks in subject 1. Okay. 68, 87, 59, 73, okay, 79. Okay. So in this case, average is 73, isn't it? So let's go up and see how it works. Okay, we have entered 5 marks, we have calculated total, we have calculated average. Till here, everything is fine, correct? Now when we go to the next line here, okay, I mean 42 is also fine, right? We are printing the value. Now when you go to 43, line number 43, average is what? 73.2. Now when you compare 73 and 80, is 73 greater than 80? No, obviously no, false, right? So that's what happens is the pointer, the controller or the execution will skip line number 44 and come to 45. Okay, because this condition became false. The condition became false. That's why it's not going to stay there. It will jump to the next line. It's jumping to the next line, which is elif. Okay. So now if you see here, average is 73. Is 73 greater than 70? Yes. 73 is greater than 70. So it is printing grade B. Okay. It is printing grade B here. Right? Okay. Now if you see here, line number 47, average is greater than or equal to 60. Is 73 greater than 60? Yes. 73 is greater than 60. Then why not grade C is also printed? Okay. Grade C is not printed because, okay, in one if elif condition, okay, or we call it as if else block, if elif else block, only one command will be, okay, or only one segment will be printed. Okay, only one command, only one block will be printed. Okay, so the first matching condition is second one here, B, isn't it? This is the first matching. So after line number 46, it will not even check other conditions. It will directly come to line number 55 here. So I can print in 56. Thank you for using my program. Or, I mean, using may not sound good. We'll say running my program. Right? So I'm saying, thank you for running my program. Make sense, everyone? So let's revisit. Okay. All these are fine, I'm sure. You know what I'm doing here. All these are great. Then actual, okay, the if logic starts from here. So this is the first condition I'm checking. If this condition had been true, it would have printed this and gone out of if. But in our case, this condition became false. So it's checking the elif block, second elif. Okay, the first elif rather, and second condition. This is true. So it executes and finally we are thrown out of if block. Okay, so we are thrown out of if block and none of the other conditions will be even checked. Okay, it's not going to check. Right, everyone? Okay, so this is example where we have to use multiple elifs. Okay, now let's bring some twist to this program. We've written this program. Let's bring some change to this. If you score more than 90, let's say, okay, let me add a condition here. If you store, or rather, if you score, right, not store. If you score more than 90%, you win school medal. Okay. So of course, for 90% also you will get grade A only, right? You get grade A. But if your average is more than 80, I mean more than equal to 90, you win school medal, right? So I need to check this 90. Where can I check this 90? One option is I add if here and say average greater than equal to 90 and say print you have scored grade A. Okay, and then I'm going to say print you win school medal, right? And then here I'll add elif. Okay, if I add elif, this becomes part of our main if only, right? Elif. Okay, so this is one way, right? Now, why this is not a preferred way is we are duplicating this, isn't it? You have scored grade A, we have scored grade A, we are duplicating. Okay, the basic rule of programming is as much as possible, do not do duplicate values. Reason is, let's say tomorrow, college management comes and says, okay, you should not say you have scored grade A. You should say, you have got grade A. Okay, we should not say scored grade A, we should say we have got grade A. Now, when you're modifying it, you don't know how many grade A are there. You know, grade A, B, C, D, E, F. 6 grades are there. You might miss to modify this. It is never a good idea to duplicate values in programming for the same reason, because when you have to make modifications later, if you have to edit, you have to improve, or you have to maintenance of code becomes difficult. Okay, maintenance of code becomes difficult, so that's why we don't do duplicate stuff. Okay, so in that case, what can we do? Okay, what can we do? We will not include extra if. We will not include extra if. We'll use this if, and inside this if, I'm going to check another condition. So I am doing if inside if. I am doing if inside if. Okay, I'm checking if inside if. Okay, this if, line number 46, you see I have given space here, same space as the above line. That means this print is inside the outer print. Inner print, what I'm saying, inner if. Okay, inner if is same level as this print, right? So this if, inside if, okay, is inside the outer if. That means if this condition is true, okay, if the first condition is true, only then the inner condition will be called, right? If this condition is true, only then inner condition is called. So I'm going to check now if AVG greater than equal to 90. And I'm going to say you win school medal. Very simple, isn't it? Okay, when you run it. So again, if I say 91, 91, 91, I have to make it 91, right? So let me put 91. So you see here, you have got grade A and you win school medal. Okay, you have got grade A and you win school medal. Correct? So this, now what we just did is we added extra if, which is inside the outer if, and this inner if is executed only when outer if is true. Okay, now yes, if you get 85, so it will go here, you will get grade A. Okay, and then it's going to check this condition. So this condition is going to be false, right? When you score 85 or anything less than 90 and between 80 and 90, this condition will be false, right? This will be true. Outer condition will be true. So you get in, you print grade A, but this inner condition will be false, and you won't be able to get to this print. Okay. Now let me make another tweak to it. So if you score more than 90, you win school medal. And if it is more than 95, then we win, say, president medal. Okay. So now how do we do that? We can go for, so if you score between 90 and 95, you win school medal. Okay, you win only one medal, you don't win two medals. Okay, you win only one medal. So if it is between 90 and 95, you win one medal. Above 95, you win president medal, right? So here I can check if average greater than 90. Inside this, I can check if average greater than equal to 95. Okay, and I can say print you win president medal. Okay, and then I'm going to say else you win school medal. Now you see this. Okay, see, you can do it in multiple ways. Okay, I'm just showing you, okay, one way. If you have doubt, please post your question in the chat. You can do this same program in multiple ways, right? I'm just showing you one example. Okay, one way of doing what we want to do here. So I'm checking if average is more than 90 or not. If it is more than 90, then it could even be more than 95. Right? So here average is greater than 90. Okay, if it is true, we go in. Okay, if it is more than 90, then it could be more than 95 as well, isn't it? Now, if it is more than 95, then you say you win president medal. But if not, okay, and I'm still inside 90, you see this else is inside this inner if here. That means this else is still inside this. That means you come to this else only when you have scored, more or less equal to 90, greater than or equal to 90, but less than 95. Correct? You have scored more than 90, more than or equal to 90, but less than 95. That's when you come to this else block. Right? So you can have any level of if, else, if, elif, else. Okay? That's the intention of showing you this example. You can go to any level of, writing if, else, if. You can have if inside another if, right? So this if is inside this if, and this if is inside this main if, isn't it? Okay, so it can get these complex. And this is not complex. As you practice more and more, you'll be very comfortable in using if. Okay, as I said, if you have doubt, you can post it in the chat. Okay, and I'll try to answer it in the chat. Okay. Let's do another program. I hope everybody is clear with this example. Okay, let's do one other program. I'm going to write a program now to arrange given three numbers, arrange given three numbers in increasing order. Okay, so when you enter numbers as say 45, 75, 35, then you should get it as increasing order, right? So first have to find the lowest value. 35, then 45, then 75. So if you enter 45, 75, 35, you should get 35, 45, 75 as output. Right? Okay. Now let's see this. One thing you have to be very careful. Before you start solving any problem, okay, any problem I'm saying, first you need to solve it in your mind on paper. Okay, programming is no different than the way we think. Okay, exactly the way we think, we actually program. Okay, the way we think, same way we program. So before, I just said, right, before writing code, see, code is nothing but, learning few commands and writing it. But what is important is to know how to solve this problem. So if I show you this program, okay, let's say I have not given you the answer. I've not given you the answer. I've just given you these numbers. Where is my shift? Yeah. I've just given you these numbers. And I ask you, arrange in increasing order. Your brain will immediately do, say, 35, 45, 75, without even thinking, correct? But is that right? When I said without even thinking, can you get all these without even thinking? No. Our brain has to work, isn't it? If our brain doesn't work, then we won't get the answer. When I say without even thinking, it means our brain is so super fast, okay, that, quickly we, without our knowledge, we get the output. Without we knowing how, but we got the answer. No. Okay. When you want to do programming, you have to slow your brain. Slow down your brain. Okay. Slow down your brain. Make your brain little slow. Okay. How can you make it slow? Try to, you would be watching cricket match in slow motion, isn't it? Okay. When somebody gets out, right? Or LBW, then we slow down. We watch in slow motion. It shows how slowly ball goes and hits the pad, and and how the pad is lined with wicket. Same concept apply to your brain. Slow. Okay, your brain is fast enough to give you the answer. Will immediately give you the answer. But once you get the answer, slow. Put it in slow motion. How is that I'm getting 75? Sorry, first 35, right? How is that I'm getting 35 first? Okay. And I'm going to do it and tell me what I have done is right or not. Okay. I'm going to show you how our brain actually works. Okay. And you do tell me, okay, if what I'm doing here is right or not. Okay. So you have three numbers, right? To make it a little bold. You have, let's say, I'll take simple number. 4, 3, and 5. Okay. I have 4, 3, and 5. Now, we need to find the lowest value of the 3. First, what we do is we compare these two. Correct? Our mind will compare these two. We'll know, oh, this is smaller. So you take this. Now you compare these two. This is still smaller. Then we say smallest number is 3. Correct? Now 3 is gone. Now we take 4 and we compare 4 with 5. 4 is smaller. Right? We have no numbers to check now. So we say 3, 4. Right? And of course, 5 is remaining. It has nothing, no number to check. So we will put 5 here. Right? So this is how we got the increasing numbers. Everybody with me? Everybody with me? Okay, put the message in the chat so that I will know yes. Okay, so this is how our brain thinks, isn't it? You have to put your brain in slower motion, and then you will easily get the answer. Once you get the answer, now it becomes so easy to compare, so easy to write the Python code. Once you get this answer, it becomes so easy to write our Python code. So first we're comparing first two, whichever is smaller, we are taking the smaller value and then comparing with the third value. Okay, so let's now put it in Python language. So I'm going to put A equal to 45, B equal to 75, C equal to 35. A equal to 45, B equal to 75, C equal to 35. Okay. Now I'm going to compare two numbers. Okay, so what I'll do is I could have done it like this also, right? A comma B comma C equal to 45 comma 75 comma 35. Okay, now I'm going to put lowest number, first lowest I'll call it L1, second lowest L2, third lowest L3 equal to, okay, say 99, 999, 999. Okay, so I'm starting with three extra variables L1, L2, L3. L1 will take the lowest value. So our first aim is to find the lowest value. And once we find the lowest value, like in another example, we found 3, isn't it? So we found 3 after doing 2 iterations, isn't it? So we'll find the lowest value and we'll put it in L1. Then we'll find the second lowest value, like 4 we found in the other example, and we'll put it to L2. Then we'll find 5, our third lowest. Okay, since we have only 3 values, the highest value you can say, right? Third lowest or the highest value, and we'll put that in L3. And then we will simply print L3, right? So here I can say print, okay, we can say F L1 is less than equal to L2 is less than equal to L3, right? Okay, right? Now, if you don't want to put 999, you can ask me why 999, right? No, you don't have to say 999. You can put any value, or you can begin with all A only, right? Or you can begin with all B's only or C's only. Okay, absolutely no problem with that. Okay, so when you run it, okay, now see that we have the other thing right on the top. So we have to go through that here. Now you see 45 less than equal to 45 less than equal to 45, because we have said L1 equal to A, we got this. So now we need to add our logic here, correct? We need to add our logic. So first thing first, what did we do? We compared first and second value. So I'm going to compare if A less than B. That's what we did, right? 4 and 3, which is less? If A less than B, okay, we saw B is less. So, okay, if less than B, we'll say pass, else. So, see, when A is less, this is executed. And this will be executed when B is less than A, right? And then A. We are not talking about the C yet. Then B. We are not talking about C yet, right? We have to first, we have to focus on A and B. Okay, and I'll say pass here. Okay, coming back here. Between A and B, we know that A is smaller, correct? Between A and B, we know A is smaller. So A is smaller, good, great. Now we need to compare between A and C, which is smaller. So if we are doing inside, so inside first if means we are sure now at line number 70, we are sure that A is smaller than B. Now you have to compare with A and C. Why L1, L2? I've already spoken and I will show you why. Okay. So here in inner if we are sure A is smaller. So now I have to compare A with C. When I compare A with C, and if A is smaller than C, then I'm going to say L1 equal to A. Right? Very clear. L1 equal to A because A is less than B, A is less than C. So definitely you have lowest value is A. Okay. Now, else here, else means what? Okay. Okay. What if this means? This means A is less than B and A is less than C. Okay. Now here it means A is less than B and greater than C. So A is less than B but greater than C. That means your B is smallest, isn't it? B is smaller because see, A is less than B, but greater than C. What does that mean? Example, A is, when I say A is less than B, so let's say 3 is less than B, which is 5, but greater than C. That means C has to be 2, right? So in this case, C is smallest, isn't it? So we'll say L1 equal to C. L1 equal to C. Now, which is L2? Clearly, your A is L2 because A is less than B, correct? So our L2 is B and L3 becomes, sorry, A is less than B, isn't it? So A is your L2 and B is the highest value here, right? See, 352. So L1 is C, L2 is A, L3 is B. Correct? Now coming here, A is less than C. So A is less than C, A is less than B. Okay. So for example, okay, here, oh, why B? Okay, A is less than B and less than C. So we know L1 is A. But between B and C, we don't know which is smaller. Both are less than A, we know that. But between B and C, we don't know which is smaller. So we have to check what if B less than C, then you have L2 is B and your L3 is C. Correct? Else means what? Else means C is greater. No. Is it correct? Yes. So C is greater than B. No, right? C is less than B. Correct me. You should type in the chat. Watch carefully. See, B is less than C. That means B is less, C is greater. Here, it means C is less than B. correct? C is less than B. So now we'll put L1 is A, no doubt about it. Then what is L2 and what is L3? L2 is your C. Okay, and your L3 has become B here. Okay, now you see this is all true for first half only when A is less than B. We have to do for second half now when B is less than A. Correct? So now we know that B is less than A. So B will always come before A. But where would C be there? C would be highest or middle or last, we don't know. That's why. So we have to check here. Okay. Any questions so far? B is less than A. For sure, B is less than A. But between B and C, which is less? Between B and C, if B is less, then our L1, L2, L3 is clear. Is it clear? B is less than C, correct? B is less than A, B is less than C. So B is lowest. But we don't know between A and C which is lowest, isn't it? So we are not done with these two yet. We have to check if A is less than C or not. Okay, if A is less than C, then your L2 is A, okay, and L3, right? So the highest is what? Highest is C. If A is less than C, that means A is L2 and L3 is L3 is AC, C. Else, okay, your L2 is C and your L3 is A. Clear? Now we have to look at here. B is less than A for sure, but here it means C is less than B. Correct? So we know that L1, L2, L3. The lowest is which number? C is lowest. B is less than A and C is less than B. So C is lowest. Then comes B because B is less than A. Highest is A. Done. That's it. Now, when we run this, okay, when you run it, again, we have to go through the subject marks. Let me put 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So see, 35 is less than 45 is less than 75. Okay, let's change the value. Let's make this as 85. Okay, and make this as 95. Okay, so we want 75 to be displayed first. Okay, so 1, 1, 1, 1. You see, 75 is less than 85 is less than 95. Okay, so you saw how to, okay, check, perform if inside if. Okay, so we have gone to third level sometimes third level here, okay, and sometimes just 2 level, right? So one is main else and this is second else, right? We have gone to 2 level and we have been able to perform this. Okay, so I told you, right? The way we think, same way we have to write the program. Okay, if you are able to perform this, then writing is easy. Okay, of course, we'll end it here. It is confusing. Okay, it is confusing, but I just said you have to slow down your brain, move your brain in slow motion. You will be able to get it. Okay, yes, we can do that. Okay, we'll do it tomorrow again. Okay, today I just will use numbers. Tomorrow we'll use generic ABC. And I'll explain you that. Okay, of course, we'll do it tomorrow again. This. Okay, so we'll end it here for today. Please do practice this program. Okay, if programs today. Tomorrow we'll talk about this ABC generic on how to perform flow chart, right? Okay, we'll create flow chart of the program and then we'll move to loops. Loops is to repeat a statement more than once. Okay, so we'll stop here for today, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. Okay, and you have a good evening ahead. We'll see. Tomorrow we'll continue on the same program tomorrow as well. Okay. Bye then. Take care.